Long before civilizations formed or humans even came together to live in communities, long before agriculture had become a way of life for the human beings, a site in southern eastern region of Turkey was discovered that changed the entire belief of the human evolution. Welcome to my channel where I share my thoughts about art and how I try to connect it with the evolution of the human mind. Today we travel to a site known as Göbekli Tepe. This site was discovered somewhere in 1963, 1964, around that time, but the excavation began somewhere in the 1990s. What is so extraordinary about this site? This site is dated back somewhere around 12,000, between 12,000 to 9,000 years ago. Now, at that time, there were the humans were still in the hunter-gatherer phase of life. They were still nomadic in nature. They were hunting for food. They were not living in communities or nor had they formed civilized structure, like a civilized, a larger gathering, like how I spoke about Kukuteni Tripilia. Now, this site is on top of a rocky mountain. When you look at the site, you can see that it has massive stone pillars constructed in a circular pattern. These pillars could be in between the range of 20 tons, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But to think about the construction of this site is what shattered the entire theory that the humans created art way before the settlements or farming began, or way before they were a little more evolved. That's what the experts and the historians believe, that art was a byproduct of civilized society. But this site changed or shattered that theory. Why do I say that? If you look at the pillars, if you look at the carvings on the pillars, they are quite intricate, of different animals like foxes, vultures, scorpions, wild boars. Some pillars had, you can see they had arms wrapped around it. So with all of this, with the study of these carvings, some geometric signs as well. So the study of these signs or these artistic creations led to understanding that this site was not created as a shelter, as a community to live in. It was clearly for some other purpose. That is what is, I would say, extraordinary about the humans of that time. Imagine a group of people, let's say, who were part of this site. Imagine this group of people to gather pillars, limestone of that size. They had no tools. They did not have wheels. They did not have beasts of burden to transport these 20-ton pillars all the way on top of the mountain, erect them in a fashion that they had pre-planned. It was not random. If you look at it, it was not random. They did not just say, okay, let's take it, and oh, I'm tired, let me put it there. No, it required planning and execution and time and creativity, which was way out of the box for that time. So I would like to say maybe that is one of the earliest times where the humans it was a group of people who were artists more than more than individuals of a civilized society. Why do I say they were artists? Because a site, a creative site, let's say it's a creative project, a creative site or creative project was executed not for the purpose of the basic human need of that time, food, shelter, or clothing, but purely because it was creative and they executed it because they just wanted to create something. That is usually the journey of an artist. We create not, yes, in today's day and age, yeah, we create because for some of us it's a way of making ends meet. But primarily, we create. If we keep that in mind, the creation is not pure. But let's say we everything is taken care of. The artist does not have to worry about anything. How will I create something? My artistic creativity will be at its best. I will create, I will think so outside the box that I will create perhaps a masterpiece. That is how I want to connect art with this group of people. They were so their thought process was so out of the box that they created something so artistic. And this led to the theory that I believe that art is the foundation of human evolution. I spoke about that when I spoke about the cave paintings also. I said art is the foundation, is what the human evolution, human mind, the growth of our civilization or us as a species is based on art. To me personally, I think, why do I say it's one of the founding, I would say it's a founding pillar. The humans, right from their raw form to what we are today, what drove the species to where we are today was primarily because of food, shelter, and clothing. These were the three primary necessities that changed everything in the human mind in terms of evolution. To me, I think besides food, shelter, and clothing, art was the fourth pillar. You need four pillars before you can lay a structure on. When you lay a foundation, you need four pillars all the time. So food, shelter, clothing, and to me, it's art. The fourth pillar is art. These four pillars are the reason why we are what we are today as humans. We have evolved to this level, and I would like to give credit to all the artists right from the beginning of our existence to bring us to where we are. And I'm trying to understand that with the history, trying to study the history of art with comparing the art that was discovered globally with the similarities and trying to understand the possibility that our mind or our brain functions were similar globally. If you like this sort of information, do like this video, share it, please. Subscribe to my channel and let us continue together trying to connect the human evolution with art. Thank you for staying tuned today.